Good morning, children. I welcome you all to the English class. In today's class, we are going to see Unit 3 Supplementary, the case of the missing water. Before entering the lesson, I would like to ask you one question. Can you live without drinking water? No, it's impossible. We cannot survive without drinking water. So we have to conserve water. Water is the precious liquid. We have to conserve them. Okay, children, now let's move on to the lesson. The tank in Divya's village was almost dry. Here, tank means not the syntax tank we are using in our house. It's a pond or lake. Okay. In Divya's village, there was a lake or pond. It was almost dry. Look at this picture. So, Ammachi began to pray for rain. Ammachi means granny. Amma collected all the buckets and pots and vessels in the house and filled them up. So, Ammachi began to pray and Amma started to collect water in all the buckets, pots and all the vessels. We need to store water, as much water as we can, Amma said. So, Amma said that we have to store the water as much we can. Appa collected tools to dig the tank a little deeper. So Appa started to collect the tools. Look at this picture. Using this, we can dig. Appa said to them, "We just need enough water until the rains arrive." Divya got out her notebook and pencil. She put on her thinking cap and she followed her parents to the tank, that is to the pond or lake. Divya examined the tank bed closely. So she followed her parents. She examined the tank bed. It was cracked and dusty. So, how was the tank? Look at this picture. It was very dusty and also cracked. You can see this. Divya wondered, where did the water in the tank go? So, she don't know. Where did the water in the tank go? Did it run away? Or else it was stolen by some others? This is a mystery. Divya loved to solve mysteries. Once upon a time, when her Ammachi couldn't find her reading glass, Divya had found them in her book, marking the page she was reading. So, like that, Divya would also find the water, that missing water. I will find the water, Divya muttered to herself. She said to herself that she will find the missing water. Divya walked to the other side of the pond or lake. There, Divya saw dead fish and dried reeds, but there was no water. Do you know where was the water could have gone? Divya asked the fisherman. On the other side of the tank, Divya saw a fisherman. She asked him, "Do you know where the water could have gone?" The fisherman replied, "Downstream." So Divya followed the dry stream bed down the hill. So she started to walk to the downstream. That means down the hill. At the bottom, there was another tank. It had lots of goats, but there was no water. So at the bottom of the hill, there was another tank, that is another lake or pond like that, okay. But there was no water, it had only goats. Divya asked the goat herd, do you know where the water might be? So she asked the goat herd that, do you know where the water might be? The goat herd replied, upstream, maybe upstream. She got anger. That where I came from, Divya said. I came from upstream only, but there was no water at all. For that, the goat herd replied, further up then, that where water comes from. So he said that, then even further up. Divya climbed up to the tank. Then she climbed up some more to tank further up the hill. So she started to climb up the hill. But there also there was no water or no birds, nothing. So she don't know what to do, where the water has gone. She went to the hill also. There was also a tank, but there was no water there. There was no birds also. There was only one person whose name was Rani. Rani, I can't find any water. Any idea where it's gone? She asked Rani. Divya knew Rani from schooling. Rani replied, downstream. Divya was suddenly angry. She stomped her foot. Stomped means she just beat the land forcefully. Okay. She got angry. No, she shouted. Rani replied that the water may be in the downstream. But Divya came from there only, no. She knew already that there was no water in the downstream. So she got angry. She shouted, no, it is not. I have searched and searched. It is not upstream or downstream. Okay, so you don't say the water is in downstream. She got very angry. How about there? Rani suggested. Divya and Rani looked up at the sky. The sun glared. Everything was white, hot, and also very dusty. No, they agreed together. No water there. Divya collapsed into a boat with Rani and gnagged on a lotus stem. Look at this picture. This is the lotus stem. She got very tired. Do you know why Manju's parents left the village? Divya asked Rani. They went to the city where they have water. Maybe we should all go to the city, said Divya. You go, Rani snapped. No one asked you to be here. So Rani was very sad. You go, I won't come, she replied. Manju's parents left the village. Why they left the village? Because there was no water in the village. So they went to the city. Fine, Divya said, and she stomped back home. But it wasn't fine. There was still no water, still no rain. Divya went back to her home, but she couldn't find the water gone, where the water has gone. And there was no rain also. The next day, Divya brushed her teeth with muddy tank water in a small glass. You just think, if you brush your teeth with the water like this, what will you do? You won't brush your teeth, isn't it? Yes. We won't brush our teeth using the muddy water. 2. See, spat. Divya spat. In her school, the class was half empty. Many students were absent. Why? Because more families had left the area. She was missing all her friends. So there was only few students in her class. Only few students were in her class. So she missed all her friends. In the middle of environmental studies class, she turned and ran out of the school. She ran out of the school. Divya ran and ran until she was panting. So she got very tired. She finally sat at the side of the road. So she got tired. She can't run anymore. So she sat at the side of the road. Look at this picture. I have to find the water, she huffed. Can I help? Said the voice. That time somebody is saying that, can I help you to find the water? It was Rani, who had seen Divya running away from school. Yes, Divya replied. We have to do this properly, Rani said. Properly means like real sanitary engineers. Like who? Divya asked. Like sanitary engineer. Sanitary engineer means sanitary engineers build pipes and tanks and also drains. So they are going to think like a sanitary engineers. Rani said that she is going to become a sanitary engineer when she grow up. They started to draw a map of their village and all its tank and streams, showing all the places where the water might have flowed. So they decided to draw a map. Where could the water possibly have gone? Finally, they sat back and pored over the map. Divya pointed to one of the tank and she said, we haven't seen that tank yet. Come, let's go. Rani agreed. Divya and Rani began climbing up the hill. So they missed one tank. So they decided to go to the tank also. They started to climb up the hill. The stream here was dry as well. So there was one stream, but it was also very dry. Maybe we shouldn't have missed school. This tank is probably dry as well, Ronnie said sadly. So they missed their class, environmental studies class. So they were very sad. When they reached the tank, Divya and Ronnie realized they were wrong. This tank was full. They said that if there was no water, then it's waste of time, and they missed the environmental studies class also. But they were wrong. Why they were wrong? Because the tank was full. Then Rani pointed at a small pump at the end of the lake. Look at this picture. This is called a small pump. There was a tanker just below the bund. Tanker means water tank. Water tanker, okay. Using the water tanker, we can collect water. A man stood by guiding the tanker. So what he's doing? He's collecting the water into the tank. Divya said angrily. The mystery solved. Where are you taking our water? Divya asked the man. The man said, "The city. I need to supply 9,000 liters today." He replied that, "I am taking the water to the city. I need to supply 9,000 liters today." "That is not fair. That is not at all fair," Rani replied. The man shrugged. "That's how it is," he said casually. "My friend is a sanitary engineer," Divya yelled. "She knows what's fair." Divya said to the man that Rani is a sanitary engineer. The man laughed. "Sanitary engineer, it seems. You are not a sanitary engineer, you are just a children." Rani said quietly, "Yes, but I knew you can't take our water away," Rani said to the man very silently. "Yes, we know that we are not a sanitary engineer, but you cannot just take our water to the city." The man was very angry. The man got anger. He replied them, "You just go home. You cannot change anything." Divya had an idea. She just hugged the pump. "You cannot turn it on now." So what Divya did? She just hugged the pump. Now the man can't turn the switch on. Rani ran up to hug the pump too. So Rani also went near the pump and she also hugged the pump. They both ran, that is the Rani and Divya, they hugged the pump. "Hey," said the man. Now he was really angry. "You just go home," he said. That time, what happened? The clouds broke and rain poured. "The monsoon is here," Divya shouted. So that time what happened? It started to rain. "I'm going home, even if you aren't," the tanker man said. The man said to them, "I'm going home." He's going to his home. Whether they, that is they means Divya and Rani, go home or not, he is going to his home. It rained and rained. Whoosh! The bund overflowed, so the tank was full now, and the stream rushed down, splashing them. "The water has been found. The mystery solved," Divya said happily. Ooh! They yelled. They were very happy because they found the water. So the mystery solved. They shouted very happily. They informed about the tanker man to the village people. They also informed about the tanker man. About the tanker man to whom? To the village people. And the village people warned him not to do again. So, children, without water, we cannot survive. So, we have to save water. We have to save the earth, our nature. We have to save our environment. I hope that you would have enjoyed the story. Thank you, children.